showing you in this video how to review all the calculations to leave a tenancy or a tenant that is vacating ready, so we can confirm the refund that we're going to be completing for this person once the person has already moved out. So the first thing that we need to do is obviously access process street. All of these steps should have been completed by this stage. Then what we do in this case is we're gonna review pretty much everything regarding all the charges that we need to apply to this person. This revision is being completed probably before the tenant has vacated the property, because as you know, we need to complete a final inspection of this tenancy, and once we attend to the property, complete the final inspection, we will know if we need to charge this person for completing probably cleaning, or if the person has done any damage in the property, then we will charge the person for this, which is going to have a different process. As for now, we're just going to be checking all the calculations up to this date. So the first thing that we need to do is access process street, and it tells us to check rent payment history and confirm that all rent invoices have been generated until the last date of occupancy. So what we normally do is we go to release, we access the tenancy that we are working on. So in this case, it's going to be Amanda. What we do is we go to the tenancy history, and then we select all transactions. So pretty much what we have in here is obviously all the invoices that have been generated against this tenancy, and we're gonna see the weekly rent invoices here. So what I like doing is going and checking the dates, making sure that all the weekly invoices were generated on the correct dates. So she apparently started to live with us on the 31st of March, and then she vacated, and that's something that you need to know. She vacated on the actually she vacated on the 7th of August, so we might see if we need to apply any refund to her of any kind. So let's get started with here. So the 31st of March, we need to make sure that we are checking the correct months to see that this is making sense. So for example, here we have the 31st of March and the 6th of April. So yeah, pretty much 7 days. Then we continue. Then we say the next weekly invoice was generated on the 7th of April to the 13th. Yeah, it makes sense. 14th of April to the 20th of April. That makes sense. 21st to the 27th, 28th to the 4th. That makes sense. The 5th to the 11th, the 12th to the 18th, the 19th to the 25th, the 26th to the 1st, yeah, making sense. The 2nd to the 8th of July or June, and the 9th to the 15th, the 16th to the 22nd, the 23rd to the 29th, the 30th to July 6th, the 7th to the 13th, the 14th to the 20th. Obviously, we also need to make sure that the person is being charged for the amount that she should be charged, which is $170. This is an automatic sort of invoice that it's generated, but still we need to make sure that if you notice that something is wrong, then we're just gonna capture whatever information that is gonna be missing here to make sure that we are charging her for as many days as we needed to charge her for. Then we say 28 to the 3rd of August. Then the last one was from the 4th to the 9th. She was supposed to be vacating on the 9th, but in this case, this tenant vacated on the 7th. We just need to make some changes in here, but let's say that this tenant was vacated on the 10th, so she is being charged for the night of the 9th. Then we just need to make sure that we're working out the math to check that the number of nights that she's being charged are correct. Usually the system tells us this information, but let's say that we have the 4th, the 5th, the 6th, the 7th, the 8th, and the 9th is 6 nights that we're going to be charging her. So we just say $170 divided by 7 days, and then we multiply that by 6, and then yeah, we get that's the correct amount. So that's the first thing. So we go to process street again, we say yes, we've done that. So pretty much this is a little bit of the explanation of what I told you to do now. Then we say, hey, check the bills, check the end of lease bill calculations. So to check that, we simply go and see what are the invoices that we have generated against her tenancy associated to bills. So we have one, for example, here that says this bill was calculated from the 21st of March to the 6th of April, and it's electricity. If you want to get into that one, you can check. This is just overconsumption in this case. Then we have a hot water one in here from the 5th of April to the 2nd of May. Probably the hot water overconsumption was not calculated before because there was not overconsumption. In this case, it is. So for some reason, if you want to access the information of that bill, you can come in here. You should be able to find the workout that the person has to pay for this. Let's just have a quick look at this one, Amanda Hot Water. And we'll see that the bill was from the 1st of April to the 2nd of May, that it was 28 days calculation. It says, and pretty much this is the workout that we are completing because we are calculating this bill from the 1st of April to the 2nd of May. But what we truly need to do as well first is check that this actually was the period that we are calculating. So this is the information from the invoice itself. So from the 5th of April to the 2nd of May, we were charged $88.74, and then this is the worked out that we have in here. So we say that we sponsor $55 of hot water per month, and then as the bill came as $95, then there was a difference of $40, which in days it's $1.34 per day in overconsumption, and that's the calculation that we are using here. As you can see here, we say that the overconsumption charges for like the number of days calculated with which are 28 days. For the total house is $37, which pretty much is multiplying 1.34 by 28 days. Most probably this is going to be the total, and then we divide this amount in 4 people. Then she was invoiced $935. That's pretty much the whole thing that we have done. So then we go again and we check. We say, yes, that's that period. We calculated that period, but we definitely need to go and check some other things. So let's get back to her account. So we have those show all transactions. Then we have that. We did that. So we know that we charged her until the 2nd of May. That invoice came until the 2nd of May. One last thing that I wanted to show you is obviously these calculations were performed because we have an invoice associated to that period, which is this invoice that we have in here. So we normally get the invoices from the provider, and then we see in this case we are being invoiced for the period between the 5th of April to the 2nd of May. So that's why we made those calculations. You see that this is the total, and then we work it out with the templates that we have. So let's continue with this. Then we will go and see what else we have. What is the next invoice? So we say, okay, from the 5th of May to the 6th of June, so pretty much electricity following, I would assume, the next period in here, 6th of April to the 23rd, and then we have May. So probably we missed 1 month. So that's one of the questions that I want to ask myself. Sometimes when there is not an invoice for consumption associated to, let's say, electricity, it's because probably for that month there was not overconsumption.